We are Black Force. We are Arizona.
It is a Friday night in downtown Phoenix. Time once again for Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Brad Steinke with you. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly will join us in just a bit to talk baseball. But tonight we begin on a somber note as the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, its players, its fans paying tribute tonight to the 19 courageous men we lost battling the Yarnell Hill fire earlier this week. A fire brigade played Amazing Grace as we watch the names and the photos of those who so bravely and courageously battled the fire. And the Arizona Diamondbacks have certainly stepped up to help the families and friends of those so affected so deeply and so profoundly. Brad Steinke with you here at Chase Field as the D-backs return home. It was a night that they also honor the men and women who courageously serve in our military, but really it has taken on a different and much more emotional note tonight. The Arizona Diamondbacks coming back from that 10-game road trip, and they were clearly touched by the news of this tragedy. And throughout the night, we will hear those stories and hear from the Diamondbacks. In just a little bit, Steve and Bob back to talk baseball, but as we go to break, Eric Chavez, one of the D-backs, profoundly touched by the events of this past week.
I think when those guys sign up, they know the risks that they're in, and you know, we've heard a little bit about kind of how things happen, and very unfortunate situation, and we're going to try to do our best to bring back a little bit of healing and hopefully a little bit of entertainment.
And nothing can give back to those families what they lost, but whatever we can do to help, we're going to try and do. And this organization, every time something's come up, has been first class when it comes to that, and it makes me really proud to put on that uniform.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Following the Yarnell Hill fire. Please try and help us raise money for the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. First pitch from Chase Field coming up. Bell Ice Cream celebrates National Ice Cream Month in July. Try our newest flavor, Rock Slide Brownie, and celebrate with us today. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Arizona Diamondbacks back home at Chase Field, and the Diamondbacks all weekend honoring our fallen firefighters and supporting their families after the Yarnell Hill fire. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Bluebell Ice Cream. And all weekend long, we are honoring the 19 fallen members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department. And these jerseys you're watching the Diamondbacks wear this weekend, Bob, will be auctioned off. These will be game-worn, used jerseys you can auction off online at dbacks.com. All the proceeds go to honor the victims' families.
Please do whatever you can to help these families.
Yeah, fans, if you can help the Diamondbacks' effort to honor the brave firefighters and support their families, take a moment and do what you can. There's hitting coach Don Baylor modeling these jerseys. The number 19 over the heart, the word Arizona on the front of the black jersey. dbacks.com/19 is the website to go to. All the money goes to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. It is immediate financial assistance to the families. And the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, this was news today, is matching all donations up to $200,000 for the family. So the D-backs have doubled their commitment this week.
The fans did such a great job. They reached that $100,000 mark. The D-backs matched that and then increased it another $100,000.
So again, fans, if you haven't yet done so, please log on to dbacks.com/19 and support the Diamondbacks' efforts as we honor our fallen firefighters and support their families. In the meantime, we are once again playing baseball here at Chase Field, Bob. And after the 10 games and 10-day road trip and more than 20 hours of baseball alone in 4 games at Citi Field, they used 9 pitchers last night against the Mets. It is an exhausted pitching staff, so Tyler Skaggs starts and Charles Brewer is up for help in the bullpen.
Healthy arms. Unfortunately, Tony Campana, who gave the team a real nice shot of energy in his couple of games up here at the big league level, and Chaz Rowe, who got his first major league victory in that extra inning game yesterday, had to go back down to Reno, but 2 healthy arms. Tyler Skaggs to start tonight. Charles Brewer available out of the bullpen.
And so we get another look at Tyler Skaggs, the 21-year-old. He turns 22 in just a week or so, making his 4th appearance for the Diamondbacks this year. All starts, and the big key for Tyler Skaggs, huge 3 pitches effectively.
Absolutely. One thing that he has working a little bit against him in this ball game is the fact he's faced the Colorado Springs Rockies twice this year already, and a lot of the players in the lineup tonight for the Major League Rockies were down in Colorado Springs at that time.
And this is an exhausted Diamondbacks team. They just finished a stretch of games during which they played 24 of 33 on the road, a grueling stretch for any ball club. But the remarkable thing about this road stretch is when it started, they led the division by a game and a half. Now they're actually ahead by 2.5, so they picked up a game. And look at what they've been through here just in the last 4 alone.
Well, a lot of positives to come out of a 3-7 road trip, including that start by Randall Delgado. Right now, when the team is looking for starting pitchers to get deep in the ball game, Delgado looks like he's a guy that wants to give them that option.
And so it's a very tired pitching staff and a tired ball club overall. 10-game road trip finally done. 4 grueling games against the Mets. And now we continue this stretch of 20 games in 20 days, both home and away, heading into the All-Star break.
Won't get much sympathy from that team in the first base dugout. They're starting a 10-game road trip here in Arizona. They go on to San Diego and L.A. They're in a 16-game stretch against the West.
But you're catching the Colorado Rockies at a pretty good time here. Their lineup brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. No Troy Tulowitzki, no Dexter Fowler. They're both on the DL. And tonight, no Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo hurt himself yesterday.
Yeah, Michael Kadaya, really the guy you have to keep an eye on. Also, WILIN Rosario, those 2 guys in the 3-4 spot in this Rockies lineup. Without a doubt, their hottest hitters.
DJ LeMahieu looks at a ball. We're underway, playing ball again here under the closed roof at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman. 295 on the year, and this guy has been crushing it lately. Just hitting a ton for Colorado. 337 over his last 24 games.
And he's somewhat reinvented himself when he was a member of the Chicago Cubs organization coming up through their minor league system. He was an inside-out swinger, liked to carve the ball into right field, hit behind the runners. But they've encouraged him under the tutelage of Dante Bichette, their hitting coach, to start turning on some pitches. And he's hit some balls down in the left field corner recently, showing some power.
That one's out of play. Rockies with no Tulo and no Fowler. Tulowitzki took batting practice yesterday for the first time since breaking his rib on June 13th. He says it's healing nicely. There's a chance he'll be back from the DL before the All-Star break. Fowler's been out since June 26 with a hand contusion. And Cargo is a recent development. Carlos Gonzalez, a strained upper back in last night's 9-5 win over the Dodgers at Coors Field. There's Tulo looking on. Cargo injured his back while striking out in the 5th inning and had to leave the game. Walt Weiss said the injury not something they're too concerned about. He's had it before, but he is sitting out tonight.
I think they need to be real careful with him. Probably ought to wait till Monday before they run him back out there.
Don't take a chance, Walt Weiss. Just shut her down.
Yeah. He's way too valuable to the organization to risk running him out there this weekend.
He has been skyrocketing his way up the National League All-Star outfield voting.
Oh,
and
boy.
LeMahieu drives that one into right at Gerardo Parra, one away. This was Carlos Gonzalez. Injured his back while striking out in the 5th inning and had to leave the game against the Dodgers. A little tweak there.
Apparently it's something he suffered from in the past. A lot of people get those knots between your spinal column and your shoulder blades, and that's kind of what Cargo is going through right now.
So no Carlos Gonzalez for Walt Weiss. But again, he says not too worried about it. As Bob mentioned, it's something they've seen with Cargo before. Here's Corey Dickerson. A left fielder batting 190 on the year. And this is a guy who's had something of a breakthrough year and become a guy to watch in this organization. Perhaps ahead of some more familiar names like Tyler Colvin or Charlie Blackmon. Dickerson was named the Rockies' outstanding player in spring training this year. Walt Weiss says he reminds him of a young Michael Kadire.
Had a 32-homer season in the minor leagues a couple of years ago.
Got himself a base hit here. Fists it the other way.
Yeah, probably a lot more left-handed hitters than Walt Weiss would like in the lineup tonight against Tyler Skaggs, but you do what you got to do when everybody's not healthy and able to play. Just fights that one off into shallow left field for the first hit of the game.
I mean, Fowler, Tulowitzki, Cargo, that's the heart of the order, all injured for this series, at least to Cargo tonight. And here is Michael Kadire. And this guy has been a handful. What a season he's had here at the age of 34. Going into this year, the longtime Minnesota Twin, a career batting average of .271. Right now, he's second in the league in hitting at .343. Top 10 in homers and RBIs. Third in on-base percentage. Second in slugging. First in OPS. Dickerson back in time.
I've seen a couple of highlights of recent Rockies games, and Kadire really driving the ball to right center field. Miggy with a pickoff attempt down there at first base. Dickerson just back in on his belly under the Paul Goldschmidt tag.
1-1. Now, Kadire just had a Rockies record 27-game hitting streak snapped. During the streak, he had 42 hits. A .372 batting average while hitting in 27 straight. The streak just ended July 2nd in that series against the Dodgers. He went 0 for 4. That one's lifted in the air. Right field. Parra near the line. 2 down. Defensively, the Diamondbacks look as follows. It is an outfield of Cody Ross, A.J. Pollock, and Gerardo Parra.
Be Martin Prado at third base, DiDi Gregorius at short, Aaron Hill at second base, Paul Goldschmidt over at first, Montero behind the plate tonight for left-hander Tyler Skaggs.
Batting clean up, the catcher WILIN Rosario. 2 down now. Dickerson still aboard at first after a 1-out single. Rosario 276 on the year. He's got 13 home runs. And he is really hitting the ball well lately.
Well, those of you who were with us for that New York series may recall talking about Marlon Byrd. He was a WW on my scorecard. He won't walk. Here's another one. This guy refuses to take a base on balls.
Well, the way he's hitting, you can't blame him.
Nope.
He's got a 9-game hitting streak going. During his 9-game streak, he's hitting .424. 2 homers and 7 RBIs. So he's anxious to take his cuts, as you'll see.
Yeah, and you can't blame him for that, but you know, just as a point of reference, when push comes to shove and this guy's got a chance to hurt you, you do not have to throw him a strike to get him out.
He's done very well career-wise against the Diamondbacks. 7 homers in 24 games. Yikes. Again, big key for Tyler, use 3 pitches effectively, and for Tyler that means spotting the fastball. Don't hang that big curveball, keep it down, and throw that changeup often enough to deliver that legitimate 3-pitch mix. He's always had the curveball, can spot the fastball, but one key in his development has been turning that changeup into a reliable and effective pitch. And Kurt Gibson says when he's good, he's got 3 pitches, Bob, going for him.
That was a changeup right there that time at 85, down in the zone, which is where you want him to miss. If he's going to miss the strike zone with that changeup, you prefer it to be down and away from the hitters. Maybe get some rollover strikes. Kind of get a peek at that circle change grip down below the knees.
3-1. Here goes Dickerson. Montero's throws and plenty of time. Corey Dickerson thrown out trying to steal, and that ends the first. Welcome back to Chase Field. Miguel Montero. He throws out Dickerson, and we head to the home half of the first. And a half games behind the Diamondbacks in second place in the National League West. Arizona's lead is 2.5 on the Rockies, 3.5 on the Dodgers, and 4.5 of both the Padres and the Giants. Walt Weiss, a rookie big league manager, on the mound tonight. The left-hander Jorge De La Rosa.
The Diamondbacks have seen plenty of Jorge De La Rosa, and he's been throwing the ball extremely well over his last 3 starts.
Now, this, in fact, is the 4th time this season we'll get a look at Jorge De La Rosa. And here's the lineup, Bob, that the Jorge De La Rosa will be facing against the Diamondbacks starting lineup, and it's brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass.
Pollock in center, Hill at second, Goldschmidt over at first base. It'll be Montero, Ross, and Prado in the middle of the batting order. Gerardo Parra, DD Gregorius, and Tyler Skaggs make up the bottom.
Jorge De La Rosa, 8-4 on the year, an ERA just over 3 that puts him in the top 20 in the league. He'll face Pollock, Hill, and Goldie to start off the first. And as we've said, we've seen this guy a whole bunch already this year. He is 2-1 in 3 starts against Arizona with an excellent 1.56 ERA. The crafty lefty.
Fastball, changeup, slider combination. He also throws an occasional curveball. The thing that's unique about De La Rosa is he'll throw his changeup to both right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters.
And he's got that unique pause sort of at the midpoint of his delivery, which just kind of hangs there for a second or two.
A little bit of a hiccup in his windup.
The hitch and the giddy up and the whole thing. A.J. Pollock at 252. There it is.
32-year-old, 6'1", 220 from Nuevo León, Mexico.
Let's see if we can figure out he's going to throw a changeup with that grip.
Got that split finger grip to start with and then works off of it. This will be something other than the changeup.
And at 91, he's got a little bit of everything. 4-seam, splitter, slider, change, curveball, 2-seam.
He's been battling some injuries himself. He's got a bruised left thumb on that throwing hand. Jammed it badly swinging the bat one day and then jammed it again trying to put down a bunt.
Pollock drives that to the gap in right center, and that ball gets down. And it one-hops the wall, and A.J. Pollock has turned it on the Jets. Here he goes. He wants 3. And he's in there. The stand-up triple, his first triple this season. Welcome home, Arizona Diamondbacks.
Who's tired? Not A.J. Pollock. I drove that ball right out toward the RamTrucks.com pool. We were just hoping it didn't bounce out of here for a book rule double. Instead, it short hops that fence in right center field, allowing A.J. to showcase his wheels. Stand up triple to start the ball game. Nice going.
They definitely got a break when it stayed in the yard. And Bob, you can see in that first replay, A.J.'s eyes just light up. He knew that was going to get down for extra bases. Here's Aaron Hill.
Yeah, it's a different expression when a guy that can run hits a ball in the gap.
Yep.
He's excited. He can't wait to show his wheels. If that was Miguel Montero or just about any other catcher in the game, it would have been a different expression on his face.
But the way A.J. Pollock runs, he knows it's on. Aaron at 296, 3 homers and 9 RBIs. Let's take a look at the expression on A.J.'s face as he gets out of the box here.
Oh, yeah.
And he has said with all the doubles he hits, he's also got 21 doubles, that he is usually thinking at least 2 out of the box every time. And you can tell by the way he runs up the first base line, always got the head up, looking for that little opening that might indicate extra bases.
And that is always the key for a batter that hits a lot of extra base hits. It's not how fast you run between first and second. It's how fast you get out of that batter's box between home and first.
And A.J. has said because he knows how hard it is to play the outfield, so he has a good idea of what it takes to keep an opposing runner to a single. You have to run hard, cut it off, come to a stop, set, make the throw. And having done that himself as a defender, he knows what it will take to sort of steal that extra base, or in this case 2. 1-2 to Aaron Hill. Aaron batting .286 since his return from the DL, including a homer, 3 doubles, and 3 RBIs. And with runners in scoring position, he's right on that .286 number.
It's something to keep an eye on throughout this series. WILIN Rosario behind the plate for the Rockies. Big time offensive player, has really struggled with the leather. That's been an ongoing process for the Rockies, trying to get him up to speed behind the plate. 7 pass balls this year. The Rockies pitching staff has uncorked 38 wild pitches.
And this is a guy that throws a splitter, so that's always down there and could be trouble. He gets Aaron Hill there, 1 away. Here's Paul Goldschmidt and Bob. These two have seen each other before. We mentioned that this is De La Rosa's 4th start against the Diamondbacks. And we look back at the vault and we flash back. April 25th.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Don't look. That ball right off the top of the foul pole down the left field line. One of the longer home runs we've seen this year.
We have found ourselves a gold mine in Paul Goldschmidt. We certainly have. Leading the league with 69 RBIs, 3 ahead of St. Louis's Alan Craig. Goldie at .302 on the year, 20 home runs, and those 69 runs driven in. Good RBI chance now with Pollock at 3rd and 1 out. What is going on with the signs?
Flashcards, telling you.
Gonna need them. Now this is interesting because De La Rosa is a guy who will give you the bad body language. He'll lose his composure out there. He'll get a little erratic in terms of his personality. And oftentimes this year, Walt Weiss has set it up, and we've talked about this, Bob, where Jorvi Torrealba is back there, not because he's his personal catcher per se, but Torrealba seems to do a good job of calming this guy down.
Yeah, tries to find a comfort zone for De La Rosa, as you mentioned. He can be his own worst enemy out there on the mound. Really fights himself when things start to go sideways a little bit.
Yeah, you'll watch his body language over the course of the game. If he's not happy, you'll know it. A.J. Pollock at third with one out after his leadoff triple. Good time to remind you that every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Goldie's 20 home runs have already equaled his total from all of last year. It gets in the dirt. Here comes A.J. Pollock, and he will score. Right on cue, Bob Brenly. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Well, that will more than likely be ruled a wild pitch because the ball did hit in the dirt, but just a lackadaisical effort by WILIN Rosario. Just kind of reached the glove out there, tried to pick it cleanly out of the dirt rather than get his body in a blocking position. Shoots right past that left shoulder all the way to the backstop, and A.J. Pollock trots home with the first run of the game.
And he was ready, anticipating that. I'm sure all the Diamondbacks runners are well aware by now. Here's the 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, if you have a catcher that struggles behind the plate, that comes up in the advanced meeting. If you have an infielder that's prone to bad throws across the diamond, that comes up in the advanced meeting.
Yeah, heads up if you're on any base, especially third. This is a guy that has some issues.
You know, you talk about the middle infielders going out as the cutoff guys on a ball hit in the gap. Sometimes an infielder will have a strong throw to the plate after getting that throw from the outfielder. Other times guys don't have enough arm to make that relay throw. That comes up in the advanced meetings.
De La Rosa has fallen behind to Goldie, 3-1. Ooh. Bill Miller says strike two.
Yeah, that's not a pitch Goldie wants to swing at, 3-1 anyway. Bottom of the knees, outside corner of the plate. You just take that one and hope the umpire misses it.
That's a pretty good location for him.
Change up coming.
Fought it off at third. Nolan Arenado is there. 2 down. Miguel Montero made a big splash in his return home. Threw out Corey Dickerson trying to steal second in the top of the first. Interesting matchup for Miggy tonight against De La Rosa. He's in there at .227 on the year, but Bobby's 27 points better against lefties this season than versus righties.
2 for 7 against De La Rosa this season, or in his career rather. I've said it many times already in the first half of the season. I think Miggy hangs in there against left-handed pitching a lot better than he does against the righties. He has a tendency to overswing against right-handed pitching. Against the lefties, he hangs in there a little bit more, gets more of his hits to the opposite field.
Put a good swing on that one. It's 1-1. Miguel Montero hit .281 on the 10-game road trip. There are the career numbers against Jorge De La Rosa. Miggy on the 10-gamer, 3 doubles, a home run. And a really nice road trip offensively. Goes down and gets that one, but hit it right to Rutledge, and that's the inning. But the Diamondbacks, an A.J. Pollock triple, a wild pitch. It's 1-0 in front of a packed house here at Chase Field. sports, check out FoxSportsArizona.com. All your online local sports coverage, like post-game analysis from Jack Magruder on her birthday yesterday. Brittany Griner settles in and gets comfortable, sort of, with summer in Arizona. And the Coyotes make a big splash in the free agent market. You can read all about that right now at FoxSportsArizona.com. There is Jack, still celebrating.
The birthday that never ends.
Now, the good news is in the top of the first, Bob, that Miguel Montero threw out Corey Dickerson. The bad news is WILIN Rosario gets to start over. And the way he's hitting, that's not a good thing. Mentioned in his previous at-bat, he's up there with a 9-game hitting streak right now, 276 on the year. But during the 9-game streak, he's well over 400.
Yeah, since June 14th, he ranks 3rd in the majors in batting average, 5th in slugging percentage, and 5th in OPS. So he has been red hot.
Yeah, you said the date there. If you go back to June 13th, he was hitting 239 for the year. But since then, WILIN Rosario has hit safely in 14 of 60 and raised his batting average for the season by almost 40 points. And it's funny because this guy got off to a sensational start this year. He had 350 in April, 7 home runs, and then suddenly out of nowhere just went into a free fall. He hit 180 in May. Lines that one to center. A.J. Pollock is there, 1 away. Time for the AT&T Twitter poll question with the Colorado Rockies in town. We go to the Twitter. Diamondbacks' biggest competition for the NL West title. Rockies, Padres, Dodgers, Giants. Tweet your vote to @FoxSportsAZ. And while you're on the Twitter, see what Greg Schulte is up to, because you will get incessant and almost constant updates. The governor was tweeting today from inside the car wash.
Yeah.
After the 10-game trip. There is the Gub. We got him on Twitter on the road trip, and now you can't get him off.
We're not far from the point where you're going to see inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale.
But see, now during the game he's focused, but he will send out the occasional tweet between innings or something. Here's Jordan Pacheco.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein, you've created a monster.
I apologize to the Twitterati. Jordan Pacheco, 255, a homer and 17 RBIs. He's playing first base. Roll to first. Paul Goldschmidt over there has to hustle to the bag. 2 up, 2 down in the second. More Goldie defense.
Nothing new for Paul Goldschmidt. We've talked about him the whole first half of the season. I love this about him. Why risk a throw? I can beat that guy to the bag myself. Why risk a throw? Tyler Skaggs may take his eye off the ball to find the base. It may hit him in a bad spot in the glove. Pacheco may just outrun him to the bag. Why even risk a throw? Take it yourself. And Goldie does that as good as anybody.
The third baseman, Nolan Arenado, at 259 on the year. 7 homers and 26 RBIs. Tyler Skaggs gets ahead with a fastball, 0-1. Yes, he went. Todd Tishner. Skaggs ahead 0-2. Tyler's last start at the big league level, June 9th here at Chase Field. 6-2 loss to the Giants. 5 runs on 8 hits and 5. He walked 3 and struck out 4.
The Rockies really like this young man. He's an outstanding defender at third base. They think he is going to challenge for Gold Gloves in the future with his defense, and they also feel he's just going to continue to improve as an offensive player.
Second round pick in 2009 out of El Toro High School in Lake Forest, California. He's a former Arizona Fall League MVP, and he has been a hot prospect for a couple of years now.
Well, you think about Arenado at third base, Gold Glove caliber defense. Troy Tulowitzki at short when he returns.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu at second base. Pretty airtight defense for the Rockies. They need it in that ballpark 81 times a year.
There's Cargo. All smiles. Skyrocketing up the National League All-Star voting among outfielders. He's now in the top 3 and looks to be good to go for a starting spot in the game. 3-2 now. Popped him up. High over home plate, Miguel Montero. And a nice 1-2-3 second for Tyler Skaggs. He's now retired 4 in a row. Diamondbacks lead at 1-0. Against Jorge De La Rosa and the Rockies. Tyler Skaggs, a leadoff triple, scored on a wild pitch, and it's 1-0 Arizona. Ross, Prado, Parra, 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona second. Cody Ross has seen a lot of Jorge De La Rosa and done very well. 10 for 30, 2 home runs.
Twice as many at-bats as any other Diamondback against De La Rosa. The next closest is Gerardo Parra with 15 at-bats.
Let's take a look at our Lowe's players of the game on the 10-game road trip. Cody Ross and Martin Prado, Bob, they really picked up the offense while we were away from home.
Boy, especially Prado recently. He has been squaring up the ball with regularity. Cody Ross flexing his muscles, hitting for some power. That's great to see.
Yeah, Cody has hit safely now in 7 of his last 9 games, including a pair of home runs. It's a big one. Well, one big one at Citi Field. A couple of big hits. Martin Prado. And Cody absolutely crushes left-hand pitching. He's been one of the best in the major leagues this year against left-hand pitching. Only a handful of guys a little better. Those jerseys look great. Those are very, very good looking jerseys.
Pretty slick looking, yeah.
They look good. And there you can see highest average of the majors this year against lefties. Cody just under 400. But De La Rosa gets him to pop one up to the first base side. Jordan Pacheco's there, one away. You can watch Martin Prado after that last foul ball by Cody Ross, taking care of our servicemen and women with some foul balls. Front row souvenir.
That's where they belong. Glad to have them with us tonight.
Military Appreciation Weekend here at Chase Field. And some very stirring ceremonies we had live for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Here's Martin Prado. And Martin Prado is he looks to be his most comfortable, Bob. I think that's fair to say, as we've seen him all season long.
Well, it seemed like early on there were at-bats where Martin predetermined what he wanted to do before he even got in the batter's box. I'm going to hit this ball to right field. I'm going to try to pull this ball. He's just reacting to what he sees now and just getting the barrel of the bat on the ball. If it's meant to be hit to right field, he'll hit it hard to right.
Chops that one to short. Rutledge is there. That's 5 straight set down by De La Rosa. Here's Gerardo Parra. Gerardo in there at an even 300, 7 homers and 26 RBIs. Top 6 in the league in hits with 100. The 300 batting average puts him in the top 16 in the National League. And he is back and apparently no worse for wear after the face plant at Citi Field. Swing and a miss, 0-1. And after really his first difficult stretch of the season, Gerardo was hitless in 4 of 5 games. His career numbers there against De La Rosa. He has quickly resumed his often frenetic offensive pace. He's got 5 hits in his last 3 games.
A lot of people leave their heart in San Francisco. Well, Gerardo left some of his face in Flushing, Queens.
Yes, he did. And this is a major league faceplant right here in the warning track in right center. A ball off the heel of the glove and then.
Yeah, just caught his arm underneath his body. Couldn't really protect himself against that fall.
Here's the 0-2. You know, I left my face in Queens doesn't have quite the same musical ringtone that Tony Bennett might want to pick up on.
Can't sell that one to Tony Bennett.
Yeah. Usually it's like I left my 72 Corolla in Queens. 1-2. Roll to second, DJ LeMahieu. And it's a 1-2-3 second for Jorge De La Rosa. When we come back here, we'll talk to Diamondbacks President and CEO Derek Hall on Military Appreciation Weekend here at Chase Field.
This is our city, so Ken Kendrick is just he's instilled that in everybody below him, and it's just you know, it's what they do. It's what we're supposed to do.
They're definitely brave guys. When everybody else is running the other way, they're running right towards it, and you know, they're definitely heroes. And you know, any way we can honor them this weekend is going to be great.
In our hearts, the Yarnell at 19, and the Diamondbacks have certainly been doing what they can to support everything. And here with us in the booth is President and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Derek Hall. Derek, thanks for joining us. And Bob and I have been away on the road. If you can, give us and the folks at home an idea of what's been happening here with the Diamondbacks behind the scenes.
Well, you know, we try and do as much as we can in the community each and every year and throughout the season. But when something like this, as tragic, occurs, that's a time when we need to step up even more. And I really salute all of our fans for doing it with us. It's a great partnership. The impact that we can have on those communities, we're the Arizona Diamondbacks. And with that, we try and embrace all of our communities in Arizona. And we are still in shock. We were all affected by it. We're grieving. But there's a lot of work to do. We have to help those families of the fallen. We have to help those that have been displaced now and help rebuild the community as well.
And all the money the Diamondbacks have been raising goes to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross, and that fans' immediate financial assistance to the families. Go to dbacks.com/19. And Derek, I know the Diamondbacks matched $100,000. They've since doubled that, correct?
We did, yeah. We were so impressed and overwhelmed by the amount of money that was donated by our fans. They had gotten to that $100,000 level in a hurry, and we figured we would go ahead as well and step up with another $100,000. And it is a joint effort, a collaborative effort. I couldn't be proud of our fans and of our organization. It really is. You heard Willie say it. It starts with ownership and Ken Kendrick and the commitment that he has and our owners do to the community. It's overwhelming, and the fact that we can have such an impact. We understand our social responsibility. We have this stage, we have this platform, and the resources to help.
Tyler Colvin flies out. Here's the shortstop, Josh Rutledge. So it was amazing how quickly dbacks.com/19 came together. It galvanized the whole organization, and it was put into action almost immediately, it seemed.
Well, we needed to. We all learned of the news Sunday night. Again, we were caught off guard. It was shocking to everybody. And we really challenged ourselves as a leadership team to make sure that we came up with something powerful, something that could quickly raise money and awareness and recognition. And I'm very proud of our group. I'm proud of our plan. And the fact that, we did raise so much so quickly, and we're still going to do so much more. These special jerseys that we created with the 19 patch in Arizona on the front, which, by the way, look terrific.
Yeah, we were just saying that, actually.
Really
they look very sharp.
Yeah, and to be able to then auction those off throughout the week, again, at dbacks.com/auctions. And then in addition to that, our 50-50 raffle, where we do so well, we're already up to nearly 40,000 today. So the entire weekend, we're going to take all of that money, the proceeds, they'll go to our collective effort as well, and we're going to help rebuild that community.
So fans, if you want to bid on and purchase one of the shirts the players are wearing right now in this game and the games over the weekend, just go to dbacks.com/19 and you can enter the auction online to do that and honor the 19 fallen members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department. There's the strikeout. Josh Rutledge. That's the first strikeout tonight for Tyler Skaggs. One away. Derek, it was a very, very moving ceremony as up on the big board here at Chase Field we showed the faces and the names of the 19.
I couldn't dry my eyes, and to have the bagpipes, and I'm still emotional over it right now, and I've had so many fans thank me and the organization through social media and through emails and texts, and it was important for them as well. And as I said, we care a lot about the state. We care about all the people that live in the state. We have so many fans throughout the state. They're family. And so when Arizona is struck by something as tragic as this, we at the Diamondbacks are as well. And again, we know our social responsibility to help out.
Aaron Hill and a retired Jorge De La Rosa. It's a 1-2-3 third for Tyler Skaggs. Diamondbacks president and CEO Derek Hall. Fans, please log on dbacks.com/19. Do whatever you can. If you already have, thank you very much from all of us here at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Derek, thank you.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you, BB.
Times at the Ram Trucks Pool. Great place to watch a game. You can see the pool's busy out there tonight. Well, we haven't had a chance to use the pool in a while. It's like you put a pool in the backyard and then it's cold for 2 weeks. You can't use it. Well, now we're finally back home.
I don't know about your pool, but mine feels like a bathtub.
It was a little warm. Hey, Bob, don't look now, but Tyler Skaggs has set down 7 in a row.
Keep rolling.
DIDI Gregorius leads off the third against Jorge De La Rosa.
Boy, and you mentioned it, Steve. An important key for Tyler is to establish all 3 pitches early in the game, and I think Miguel Montero has forced him to throw some of those straight changeups.
Good. Good test for Didi tonight, Bob, considering his search for a swing against lefties. He's hitting almost 320 this year against right-hand pitching, but he's below 200 against lefties, and Kurt Gibson says, you know, Didi has had a lot thrown at him this year. He's processed everything really well, and he's not inclined to sit Gregorius against left-handers, and that's one reason why. Line right back up the box. They're very pleased with the way this kid has handled everything thrown at him, and here's another example.
First fastball up and in. He couldn't make contact, but that one out over the plate and down right in his happy zone. Almost decapitates De La Rosa out there on the mound. That was a screamer right back up the middle.
And the blow dart. So now Tyler Skaggs a chance to move Gregorius along. You see Arenado at third creeping in, and now charging in. And Tyler gets the bunt down up the first base line, and Arenado will field it over there. Everyone heading over to third, which is left vacated because Arenado was way over on the first base line, afraid that Gregorius would see that and head for third, but he stays put at second. Good bunt by Tyler Skaggs.
Yeah, when the third baseman charges like this on a bunt play, it's the catcher's responsibility to trade places with him. Rosario starts down the first baseline and only then realizes, uh-oh, nobody covering the bag at third, but yeah, Didi saw Rosario headed down that direction, realized he wasn't going to win that foot race, so he holds up at second base where he's in scoring position for the top of the order.
And A.J. Pollock, who tripled and scored his first time up. Didi Gregorius at second, 1 away. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. Pollock tripled to lead it off for the Diamondbacks, scored on a wild pitch.
Hey, D-backs fans, anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
A.J. Pollock making his 21st start in the leadoff spot tonight. So far this year, he scored 13 runs batting leadoff. Lifts that one in the air, high and deep to left. Dickerson looking up at the wall, and it's off the top of the wall. And that's a fair ball. Didi holds up at third, and A.J. Pollock is halfway to a cycle with a stand-up double off the top of the wall, off the Diamondback bullpen. And Dickerson's a little shaken up.
He was going to be halfway to the cycle one way or the other. We just hope that one got on out of here.
Let's take a look. They might have to review this.
There's that funky corner down there in the bullpen. Ball hits the top of the fence and then ricocheted. We'll get another look at it as Dickerson leaps against the wall. It hits the fence right there.
Once it hits the wall, it's in play. Right there. It hit right off the top.
And then where does it hit next? If it just ricochets back on the field at that point, it's in play.
Kurt Gibson is out there negotiating right now behind third base. And now all the umpires, Bob, are going to get involved here.
And rightfully so. Why wouldn't you? I mean, we don't use instant replay for enough things in baseball, in my humble opinion, but we do have replay for plays just like this. Why not take advantage of it?
He's got them to get all together, and perhaps do we need to go look at this or not? This is why it's in place. And if it's even close, why not use it? And Dale Scott will lead the troops in to go take a look.
That ball took an odd bounce off the top of the fence. Normally you would expect it to hit and continue on over into the Diamondbacks bullpen, but it hit apparently on the top of the fence and then came back onto the field of play. Very unusual bounce.
Corey Dickerson is the left fielder.
Yeah, normally that ball would keep going on over into the bullpen, but it hits right in the middle of the top of the fence. It comes back onto the field of play. Maybe a railing underneath that padding that caused that ball to bounce back toward the field.
It hit right square in the middle of that, on the top of that pad. And Dickerson was shaken up for a while. Looked like he had injured his wrist or forearm or something, but he appears to be okay now. In fact, they'll have a trainer jog out there and take a look at him while they have a break. There's a trainer running all the way out to left field to take a look at Corey Dickerson.
Well, for most outfielders trying to make that home run robbing play, you're so focused on the baseball you don't realize how close you are to the wall, and sometimes your knee or your elbow or your wrist bangs up against the wall. And after a quick review, the umpires, I feel, got that play right. As unusual as that bounce was, it did come back onto the field of play without hitting anything other than the top of the fence.
So Gregorius is at third. Pollock is aboard at second with his 22nd double of the year. One out, and here's Aaron Hill. So AJ so far with a triple and a double. Aaron Hill struck out his first time up. AJ is maybe the streakiest hitter on the team, and I don't mean that it has a negative connotation, but boy, when he gets going, I mean, he'll give you 2 or 3 hits a game for a while.
And with his speed, even when he is struggling at the plate, he'll get some infield hits.
Hard to third. Arenado coming home. They have Didi hung up. Pollock's on the bag at third. Aaron Hill holds up at first. Didi keeps that going as long as he can. And now it's 2 outs with runners in the corners.
The old contact play. Didi knows he's going to run into an easy out at home plate, so he gets hung up in the rundown as long as possible.
So Gregorius out 5-2. Pollock moves to third. Hill aboard at first on the fielder's choice, and here comes Paul Goldschmidt with 2 down.
Just as a point of rule, had both players ended up on the bag at third base, the guy who was on the base is entitled to the base. So if both guys end up standing on third base, Didi Gregorius is the guy that would remain there after the play's over. A.J. Pollock would have been out.
Paul Goldschmidt grounded to third his first time up. The National League's RBI leader with runners in the corners and 2 down. And again, watch WILIN Rosario. The Diamondbacks scored their only run so far on a wild pitch.
Well, you'd really like to get something out of what appeared to be a big inning here. Didi leading off with that line drive up the middle. A perfect sacrifice bunt by Tyler Skaggs. The double off the top of the wall, and now 1 out away from escaping without pushing across a run.
They've out-hit the Rockies so far 3-1. Goldie near 400 hitter in these situations. Where do you stand on the contact play? I know every scenario is different, but as a general rule.
Well, as a general rule, I've seen it work often enough to think it is still a valuable part of your offense. The idea being, if the ball is not hit directly at a defender and they have to move even a step to their left or right, you're going to really force the action, force them to make a good play, make an accurate throw. But unfortunately, against the Diamondbacks this year, we've seen that contact play result in a lot of outs at home plate.
Oftentimes, the guy's just a dead duck at home, and when contact play, the term comes from as soon as there's contact, you're taking off from third.
You go, regardless of where the ball is hit. Well, obviously, a fly ball, you don't go on contact, but any ground ball hit to the infield, you're off with the crack of the bat.
Here's the 2-2. Roll down the line. That's a foul ball. Adam Hamari is the umpire at third. Now here is the contact play. Now watch Didi take off when there's contact.
Yeah, ideally that ball is hit to the left or right a little bit, but it was right at Arenado at third base. Yeah, really, Rosario's play right there is to just run Didi all the way back to the bag. You've got two Diamondbacks standing on third base, and as I said, the guy who had occupied the bag is entitled to the bag, so A.J. would have been out, but Rosario applied the tag. A.J. put his foot down on third base, and he takes over as the runner.
Center field, that one will get down. RBI single for the National League's leader. That's number 70 on the year, and it's a 2-0 Diamondback lead.
I'll tell you, if you look at all the big-time run producers in Major League Baseball, not all of their RBIs come on home runs and doubles in the gap and line drives. Just get the bat on the ball in those situations. Goldie's strong enough to muscle that one out into shallow center field for an RBI base hit.
First and second, 2 down now. Miguel Montero.
I mean, I've seen highlights of Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers, and with a runner at third base, I can't tell you how many times he just hits a ground ball back up the middle of the field that dribbles through into center for a base hit and an RBI.
And the best ones do that on pitches that the pitchers like. When a guy makes a good pitch.
Just get him on the plate.
Miggy lined to short his first time up. Miguel Montero batting 180 for the season back on May 19th, but since then he has raised his batting average for the year nearly 50 points. He's hit .276 over the last 36 games.
I mean, even though he lined out to short, good at bat his first time up tonight. Took a low pitch and hit a low line drive, unfortunately, right at Rutledge at shortstop.
Hill at second, Goldschmidt at first. A run in, 2-0 Diamondbacks. Aaron Hill getting happy feet back there. Bob, so far for De La Rosa, 44 pitches, only 16 for strikes. Popped him up behind home plate. Rosario will give it a look, but it's out of play.
Well, for De La Rosa, I don't think it's vitally important that he throws a lot of strikes. He needs to give the illusion of strikes, however. He's not a guy that can pitch in the middle of the plate. When he's good, he's working that fastball on both sides, on the edges of the strike zone, working that changeup down below the kneecaps. More important that he give the illusion of a strike. Because if he's throwing the ball over the heart of the plate, it's going to be a good night for the Diamondbacks hitters.
I mean, there is a fair amount of maintenance involved with this guy for the catcher, because it seems like he needs a talking to almost once an inning. And DJ LeMahieu will get involved as well.
And this is not a kid. De La Rosa, 32 years old. You would think at this stage of his career, maybe those temper tantrums or whatever you want to call them would be a thing of the past.
I mean, it's nice and cool in here, and he looks like Denny Reyes out there, the guy they used to call the Big Sweat. That's how we looked at Citi Field all week.
Yeah.
1-2 to Miggy. Did not go, says Adam Hamari at third.
That was close, and that's another thing that could set De La Rosa off if he feels this was a swing. Ooh, very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Might have got away with one there. He wants to go through the signs again. And this is getting out of hand.
Flashcards.
This is the fourth time the Diamondbacks have faced Jorge De La Rosa. The first was at Coors Field April 20th, and he pitched very well. 6 innings of 2-hit ball, 4 strikeouts, got the win. 5 days later, the rematch here at Chase Field. That was a De La Rosa loss, 7 hits in 6. The last time the Diamondbacks saw this guy, May 22nd in Denver, he got the victory in a 4-1 Rockies win. Only 1 run in 5 1/3. Here's the 2-2. And he strikes out Miguel Montero. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get another run in. We're through 3. It's 2-0 D-backs. Paul Goldschmidt, the National League's RBI leader. This is number 70 on the year. Game from the RamTrucks.com pool. Just look for specially marked packages of Pepsi 12-ounce cans for a chance to find the limited edition D-backs can. Pepsi, live for now. We'll see you at the pool. Tyler Skaggs has retired the last 7 he's faced. WILIN Rosario and Jorge De La Rosa going over the signs. Been an issue so far. Diamondbacks lead it 2-0, and Tyler Skaggs has looked very good to this point. Boy, that Jorge De La Rosa is... that's a major league sweat he's worked up. LeMahieu lined out to right his first time up. And Tyler's out ahead quickly here, 0-2. Talk about maintenance. I mean, this is like day one stuff, isn't it?
Usually you have this all ironed out by the end of spring training.
Ring him up, sit him down. 2 strikeouts for Tyler Skaggs. He gets LeMahieu looking to open the 4th. That is 8 in a row set down by the Diamondback left-hander.
That's a big loopy curveball from Tyler Skaggs. A lot of right-handed hitters give up on that pitch. They see it so far up and away, and then that late movement just drops it right down into the middle of the strike zone.
In his last start for AAA Reno on Saturday, as Corey Dickerson comes up, Tyler Skaggs put on an absolute show. He worked 8 1/3 shutout innings at Sacramento. Not only that, he had a career-high 13 strikeouts, and it was just the 3rd 1-0 win in Ace's history since the franchise moved to Reno. Tyler retired the first 10 he faced in that game, finished with a headline start, and that takes him into his return to the big leagues here tonight.
Yes, he did.
8 1/3 scoreless, 13 Ks.
Yeah, no walks. He was really good in that ball game. He has been improving every month of the season after battling for that 5th spot in the rotation in spring training. Started the year in Reno. 6.15 ERA in the month of April. Improved that to 4.26 in the month of May. And in the month of June, his ERA was just a tick over 2.
This is his 4th appearance for the Diamondbacks this season. All starts. He comes in 1-1 in ERA, just under 5.5. He's ahead 1-2 on Corey Dickerson. Right back to the mound. Tyler Skaggs, 6'5", 215, tall enough. He's retired 9 in a row.
Yeah, maybe a valuable lesson learned this spring by Tyler Skaggs. He said when battling for that 5th spot in the rotation, he was going to treat every pitch like Game 7 of the World Series.
Yep.
Which is a common thing for a young player. You want to put a lot of importance on it. You know how much it means to the young man, but I think maybe he learned some lessons this spring, carried it with him throughout the regular season, and as I mentioned, he's been getting better and better every month.
And look at that, a quick first pitch strike. He's not blowing guys away at 89 to 91, but he's got one of the hottest hitters in baseball up there right now. Just a nice 89-mile-an-hour fastball to get ahead. Drops a breaking ball in there just like that. He's ahead 0-2.
We saw all 3 of his pitches so far in this sequence. The 89-mile-an-hour heater, the big curveball, and then a straight changeup.
That's what you're looking for, that 3-pitch mix. Michael Kadire second in the league in hitting at 343. And of course, in spring training to start the year, it was a 3-man battle for that 5th spot in the rotation. Michael Kadire, you got to get all 3 strikes to get this guy.
Yeah. He's a professional hitter. Michael Kadire has been good for a long time. Really showing the world this year how good he can be.
He has reached base in 61 of the 65 games he's played this year. 343, top 10 in homers and RBIs, 3rd in on base, 2nd in slugging, and a 27-game hitting streak that just snapped a couple of days ago. Got him! 3 strikeouts for Tyler Skaggs. He has set down 10 Rockies in a row. We'll go to the home half of the 4th. CenturyLink your link to what's next. Martin Prado coming up.
Honoring the men and women who so proudly serve our nation. And that group of guys and enlisted men and women sitting front row, and Martin Prado getting the foul ball and handed it to that young man right there. And then later on, Don Baylor, the D-backs hitting coach, had the ball tossed over. He signed it. He had Matty Williams sign it, and some of the guys as well. And then the ball boy gave it back to him. So the D-backs doing some great stuff, not only for the folks affected by the Yarnell fire, but also our service men and women here.
Great job by everyone down there, Brad. Thanks very much. Yeah, Military Appreciation Weekend here at Chase Field. And boy, Bob, when this ballpark is full, it's a really, really fun place to be, and a tremendous job by D-backs fans to come out and welcome the team back here. 5th of July. Got fireworks after the ball game, stirring ceremonies pregame, and you've got all the stuff going on with the military servicemen and women. It's a great weekend to be here with us at Chase Field.
Absolutely, and hopefully the D-backs give them reason to come back again. This is an exciting team, fans. You do not want to miss out. Get on the bandwagon early.
Cody Ross when he popped up to first his first time up. And look at the hops right there from Wayne Laskin, pouncing on that one down the left field line. It's like he never left. Everyone else is tired. You know, Wayne and the Golden Glovers, they're a little rusty.
Well, they've probably been coming out here getting ground balls. Karen Lebovic down the right field line. Probably been working out while we've been on the road.
Yeah. Grueling training program.
But talking about the pregame ceremonies, I mean, we hear the national anthem every day.
Yep.
Some better than others, but none better than what we heard tonight from Navy Petty Officer Stephen Powell. What a great job on the national anthem.
And again, fans, please go to dbacks.com/19 and donate to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. And if you already have, thank you so much. The Diamondbacks initially said they would match all donations up to $100,000, but you D-backs fans did such a tremendous job supporting the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department that the Diamondbacks have doubled down, now matching all donations up to $200,000. And all that money, folks, it's immediate financial assistance to the families, and you can't do anything better than that. So please do everything you can. 50-50 raffle.
Wow.
That the proceeds from that go to the families. Also, they're auctioning off at dbacks.com the jerseys the Diamondbacks players are wearing in the games this weekend, so you can bid on those. And these are very special jerseys. These are only going to be around for a limited time here in these games over the weekend, so you can bid on that Cody Ross jersey right there at dbacks.com. The proceeds from that go to honor the fallen 19. Cody lines that one into left, leadoff single. That's the 5th hit for the Diamondbacks. And that's the 3rd inning of 4 here, where the Diamondbacks have led off with a base hit. How about that, Bob? This team is exhausted. They are gassed. But so far, we've had 4 innings now, and the leadoff man on, speaking in terms of setting the tone and having the energy, leadoff guy's gotten a base hit in 3 or 4 innings.
Well, I'll tell you, from past experience as a player, as a coach, as a manager, I think the players get caught up in the emotion of the moment. A big night like this here at Chase Field, they want to put on a good show. They want to bring their best A game here tonight and show these fans what this season has been about up to this point and what they have to look forward to the rest of the way.
Martin Prado back from a sensational road trip, hit .400 on the 10-game trip. He made 8 starts, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Had a pair of 3-hit games in the series against the Mets at Citi Field.
I mean, obviously it's much better when you're playing at home in front of a full house, but I think anytime that player comes out of the dugout, do his pregame stretching and throwing, getting ready to start a ball game, and you see the crowd up to the rafters the way they are here tonight, you can't help but get a little extra adrenaline going.
Yeah, this place is packed. There's a strike, 1-1. Martin Prado grounded to short his first time up. And there it is, a full house at Chase. And this is the team that will be basically home almost the entire month. So come out and join us here in air-conditioned comfort. Chopped high to Arenado at third. A little bobble there, getting it out of the glove, but the Rockies are still able to roll the double play. Hey fans, Diamondbacks and Brewers series starts Thursday here, and for any of the D-backs Brewers games, you can get a D-backs value pack, and that includes a free 6-inch Subway sandwich. That's right, only $21 will give you a lower level bleacher ticket, a Pepsi, a cookie, and a 6-inch Subway sub. That's a great deal, so get on the phone right now, 602-462-4600, or log on to dbacks.com/value.
If you really wanted to salute the Brewers, you give away a sandwich, a Pepsi, a cookie, and a cheese wheel.
See, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Just don't show up wearing one of those things on your head. That's all I ask.
Won't happen.
Gerardo Parra.
I spent some time in Wisconsin over the years, and it's amazing. Every exit you drive by on the freeway, there's a huge sign that says cheese, C-H-E-E-Z.
Like you're taking a picture or something.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can you live in Wisconsin if you're lactose intolerant?
I don't think so.
These are the questions that pop up over the course of the ball game.
Usually we save these for extra innings, but we're still a little giddy.
We emptied the tank in the last series. We got nothing. We're out of material. Roll to first. That's a foul ball. Place is so full, even you got to sit on the truck out there, the Ram truck.
Don't scratch my truck.
You parked it there again, huh?
Boy, that's a nice looking vehicle, man.
That's sharp. I like the color. One and two to Gerardo Parra. Diamondbacks about hit the Rockies 5-1, leading 2-0. Jorge De La Rosa had mixed results to begin his season. He opened up 2-3. The ERA was over 4. But since his first start in May, he's been very good. Over his last 11 starts, 6-1 with an ERA of 2.57. In fact, he went from April 30th to June 12th without losing a game. And he strikes out Parra there to win the fourth. We're through forward Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 2-0. Of the Arizona Diamondbacks by Bluebell Ice Cream. Bluebell Ice Cream celebrates National Ice Cream Month in July. Try our newest flavor, Rock Slide Brownie, and celebrate with us today. And by Gila River Casino, another proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. High above Chase Field, welcome home, Diamondbacks. 2-0 over the Rockies. And boy, Tyler Skaggs so far has given up only one hit. He has 3 strikeouts. He's retired the last 10 in a row. He'll face WILIN Rosario to open the Colorado 5th.
Of the 12 batters, excuse me, partner, of the 12 batters he's faced in the game tonight, he's been ahead in the count, 0-2 or 1-2, 9 of the 12 batters.
58 pitches, 36 for strikes. There it is. That little changeup, that is the key for him, that 3-pitch mix. He can't survive in this league. Most guys can, I'm told, with 2 pitches if you're going to be a starter. If you're a reliever, fine. But if you're going to be a starter, you need at least those 3 pitches, and you need to use them. And that changeup for Tyler is the pitch that has helped him evolve now into a major league starter.
Well, he's going to have days where that curveball is not as sharp or he's not able to locate it as much as he would like. And at that point, you'd like to have that changeup as an off-speed option. And on those days, you show the curveball on occasion and rely more on your straight changeup.
Wow. Dropped it in there. That's 11 in a row, set down by Tyler Skaggs. Bill Miller says strike 3. Take a look.
I tell you, umpires can get caught up in the moment, too. You got a guy out there dealing, throwing strikes, got that big breaking curveball. Not always easy to tell if it works its way back to the corner or not. Bill Miller joining in the fun here tonight.
Jordan Pacheco grounded out to Paul Goldschmidt his first time up. Tyler was outstanding in his first big league start this year. That was May 27th against the Rangers. Might remember that was the first game of a doubleheader here at Chase Field. And he was terrific. Only 3 hits and 6 scoreless. He had a career high 9 strikeouts. That's his major league career high. Popped him up. That's out of play. But where he's run into trouble at the big league level this year, Bob, is the long ball. He's given up 2 home runs in each of his last 2 big league starts. And I'm trying to remember if I can, but I'm going to guess based on the stuff that it was a hanging curveball or 2, or maybe one of those changeups.
And possibly that elevated fastball in the high 80s. If he doesn't get it out there far enough on the outside corner, leaves it over the middle of the plate, that's a pitch that can be hit a long way too.
Knocks Pacheco down there. It's 2-1. Boy, he likes to hit here. Jordan Pacheco.
Well, we talked about him when we played the Rockies earlier this season in Denver.
Rolled to short. DIDI Gregorius has it. 2 down in the 5th.
Yeah, Pacheco's a nice piece on a National League team because he can play multiple positions. He swings the bat well. He can go behind the plate if you need him to.
Third baseman.
Yeah, he's a guy that actually was playing shortstop at New Mexico. And they're trying to find a position for him. He's usually in there at first, especially against lefties with Todd Helton aging a little bit. He played some shortstop in college. 59 games, in fact, at second base as a sophomore for the Lobos of New Mexico. Nolan Arenado out in front, 0-1. Boy, Tyler Skaggs looks good. Nolan Arenado struggling early last month. The batting average had dropped down to .221 for the year. But he has hit better than .300 over his last 27 games, all starts, and now he's got it back up to just under .260. Whew. He's got swing and miss stuff tonight.
It's not uncommon for him to have confidence in that fastball curveball combination. But that changeup and that little slider he throws on occasion, tries to hit the back foot of the right-handed hitter. He's got confidence in all of his pitches tonight.
Pitch number 70 on the way. Arenado works it full. Tyler Colvin is on deck. Corey Dickerson, a 1-out single in the first. The only Rocky base runner tonight. Since then, Skaggs has set down 12 in a row. And that'll end the streak. It's ball 4. Two-out walk to Arenado. Tyler Colvin flying out his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
Center fielder Tyler Colvin.
And this is a guy that, Bob, I know you saw a lot of Tyler Colvin in his days with the Cubs. He just has not hit this year. Last 37 at bats, make it now 38. Colvin has 3 hits and 15 strikeouts.
And he's a WW. Tyler Colvin does not like to watch pitches go by. 60 at bats, 3 walks.
And the funny thing is, he had a nice season for the Rockies last year. He played 136 games, hit .290, 18 homers, drove in 72. But there you see, last 10 games, $136. He didn't make the club out of spring training.
He's as streaky as they get, and when he's hot, he can be a very dangerous hitter with some tremendous power. But when he's cold, he could be as cold as anybody.
Boy, Tyler seems to be making a noticeable effort to pitch inside, both to righties and lefties. He's missed inside a lot when he's missed. to go away here. Popped him up. Miguel Montero in a full sprint. Nicky has it in front of the dugout. And that ends the fifth. They strand the 2-out walk. A little Miguel Montero defense for you to close out the top of the fifth. When we come back, CenturyLink, your link to what's next. It's A.J. Pollock so far tonight. A triple and a double. He scored twice. DIDI Gregorius starts us off in the home half of the fifth with a ground out to Jordan Pacheco. One away against Jorge De La Rosa. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 2-0. They've out-hit Colorado 5-1. A.J. Pollock has done most of the damage. A triple, and he scored a run on a wild pitch, then just missed a home run his next time up. A double off the top of the wall in front of the Diamondback bullpen. Came in on a Paul Goldschmidt single, and that's all the scoring so far. Tyler Skaggs, nice sacrifice bunt his first time up. Beating Jorge De La Rosa lately, no easy task. At one point, he went from April 30th to June 12th and didn't lose a game. In fact, he's lost only one since the end of April. And he's down 2-0 here. Skaggs hard to first. Pacheco, De La Rosa's there. 2 down. Nice stop. Here's A.J. Pollock.
A little easier to keep track of the National League West tonight with the Rockies here in Phoenix. Dodgers are in San Francisco. They lead the Giants 2-1 in the top half of the third inning, and San Diego continues their free fall. They lost their 7th in a row tonight to Washington, 8-5.
Diamondbacks 2.5 ahead of these Rockies, 3.5 up on the Dodgers, and 4.5 games ahead of both the Padres and the Giants. A.J. 2 for 2. He's got a triple and a double. Tripled and scored in the first, doubled and scored in the third. And a good matchup for A.J. today against Jorge De La Rosa. Pollock is 43 points better against lefties this year than righties. Don't forget, fans, you like these jerseys the Diamondbacks are wearing, honoring the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department with the 19 patch. You can bid on them. We will auction off the actual jerseys Diamondbacks are wearing in these games at dbacks.com/19. All the proceeds from the online auction at dbacks.com will benefit the families of the firefighters. There's Matt Williams with the 19 over the heart. Also, this weekend's 50-50 raffle proceeds will benefit the families as well.
Over $62,000 and counting here tonight on that 50-50 raffle.
And again, the Diamondbacks initially said they would match all donations made by the fans up to $100,000. Diamondbacks have doubled up now. They will match all donations up to $200,000. And all the information is available for you right now. dbacks.com/19. AJ needs the new stick. The snake effect is in play here.
We hope that's in effect. Check under the booth here. Check under the table.
So yeah, you left your snake here while we were gone. 1-2.
Boy, this is just what the doctor ordered after a couple of really quick outs here to start the inning. DIDI swung at the first pitch. I believe Skaggs hit the second pitch in his at bat. A.J. Pollock grinding out an at bat here to extend this inning a little bit.
AJ likes to hit against Colorado. 417 in 11 games. Stays alive. The double he hit earlier was number 22. That puts him in the top 10 in the league. Tell you what, Bob, if you're a D-backs fan and you come out to join us at Chase Field, and you come out here as often as you can, and you bid on one of those jerseys in the online auction at dbacks.com/19, how great would that be to wear that to a game from now on every time you come for the rest of the year?
That'll be special forever.
I mean, that is a hot item just to have as a memory of everything that the community has gone through lately and the way it's sort of come together at a very difficult time.
That was corrected very early on when I was broadcasting here before.
This is what they look like.
Yeah. It's Arizona's team. It's not Phoenix's team. It's not just the Valley that supports the Arizona Diamondbacks. As we've traveled around the state on fishing trips and just taking vacations, we run into people all over the state that corrected me very quickly. Hey, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
How about this at bat that A.J. Pollock is putting together here? And there, all the servicemen and women from Martin Prado. Martin is emptying his collection.
Oh, that's something.
Pitch number 11 in the at-bat to A.J. Pollock coming up. Nice job by Martin. Military Appreciation Weekend here at Chase Field. And we can't do enough. And now they're all covered in pine tar. That's the downside of it. Martin tends to make a bit of a mess when he's up there. Let's have pitch number 12 coming up next. Let's go downstairs to Brad.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Obviously a great gesture. Martin Prado wanted the enlisted men and women, all from different units here in Arizona, to have a souvenir bat. And I've got a lot of pine tar. I've got a very good grip on the microphone right now, but obviously a special night. And just nice to see Martin Prado, obviously not from this country, but certainly understanding what these men and women do for our nation.
Oh, Bill Miller rings up A.J. Pollock after an epic at bat, and that ends the fifth. Diamondbacks lead at 2-0 on Military Appreciation Weekend at Chase Field. Nicely done, Martin Prado.
Kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game. Tonight's lucky contestant goes home at least with a Tyler Skaggs game piece, maybe much more.
He actually won a VIP spot for the fireworks after the. I mean, how about that for a prize? You hear on essentially our 4th of July game here on the 5th, fireworks after the game, and you play Kachinko. You win a VIP spot on the field for the big fireworks show. It's a big prize. Josh Rutledge, Jorge De La Rosa, and DJ LeMahieu 8-9-1 in the Rockies 6th against Tyler Skaggs, who has been absolutely superb here tonight. He's given up only 1 hit. He's walked 1. He has struck out 4. At one point, he set down 12 in a row. Rockies have only 1 hit. Then it was a Corey Dickerson single with 1 out back in the 1st. Rutledge struck out his first time, and he's had a very up and down year. This is a guy who began the season as their starting second baseman, but went down to AAA on May 22nd when DJ LeMahieu essentially took over that job. He's been terrific, and Rutledge was suddenly the odd man out. Pops that one up first base side near the Rocky on deck circle, and Miguel Montero's been busy back there. 1 away. Mickey made a great running catch on a Colvin pop-up to end the 5th. In fact, that's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Miguel Montero behind the plate. Look at the speed by Miggy here with all that catching gear on.
That ball wasn't that high in the air. He covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. Not easy to sprint wearing all that gear and try to catch a pop-up on the run with a mitt that's not designed to catch fly balls, but a great play by Miggy to end that inning.
Jorge De La Rosa grounded out to second his first time. Boy, Tyler Skaggs, Bob, considering they had to send Tony Campana back down just to clear room for Charles Brewer because they needed innings in an exhausted bullpen after 9 pitchers worked last night. And he gets his 5th strikeout there of De La Rosa. But considering that, Tyler Skaggs has been just what the doctor ordered.
Well, you think about these young guys that are on the shuttle back and forth between Reno, AAA, and the big leagues, including Tyler Skaggs, and they don't want to make that return trip. They'd like to just cash in that round trip plane ticket and stay here. And Tyler Skaggs had showed some flashes in his start against the Texas Rangers of what he was capable of doing. I think he wants to impress the brass that he should stay here.
DJ LeMahieu to right field. Gerardo Parra plenty of room. And look at Tyler Skaggs. He has worked 6 scoreless innings of 1-hit baseball. He's got 5 strikeouts and a 2-0 lead. Tyler Skaggs has been absolutely sensational 6 innings of one-hit ball. He has walked 1. He struck out 5. He's got a 2-0 lead as we head to the home half of the 6th. It'll be Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt, and Miguel Montero against Rocky starter Jorge De La Rosa. Diamondbacks won in the first. A.J. Pollock tripled and scored on a wild pitch. And another in the third. Pollock doubled off the top of the wall on the Diamondback bullpen, just missing a home run, and scored on a Goldschmidt RBI single. Goldie's 70th RBI this year. And not only has Tyler Skaggs made that lead stand, he has given an exhausted bullpen a breather so far here. Aaron Hill back after missing 63 games. He's hit .286 since his return.
Now, the reality is all it takes is a start or two where that starting pitcher can get you deep into the ball game, and you can use that bullpen in a little more of an orderly fashion, finish a game in 9 innings instead of 15 or 16, and that bullpen will be right back to where they should be.
And they are a tired bunch. 9 guys pitched yesterday in that marathon, and look at what the bullpen did on that road trip. Nearly 37 innings. Big win last night. It was a quiet plane ride, boy. I think everybody was asleep, except you watching your documentaries.
I didn't last long. I made it halfway through.
3-2 to Aaron Hill. Yeah, oftentimes especially after big dramatic wins like that, it's a very happy plane ride, to say the least. But last night, everybody was passed out in their seat, quiet. 4-hour and 40-minute flight after a 10-game road trip and 15 innings at Citi Field. Aaron Hill down the line, foul.
Flight attendants were scrambling around to find enough pillows and blankets.
They were. That was it. Usually it's going to get you a beverage. You want something to eat. No, I need a pillow and a blanket. Wake me up in 4.5 hours.
Busy night for Wayne Laskin down there.
Tell you what, those khaki cargo pants have never looked better. Although it was man down there for Wayne. Here's the 3-2. Aaron Hill drives it to left. That is down the line, and it is a fair ball off the wall. Aaron Hill takes the turn. He's in a second with an easy stand-up double. Aaron's 7th double this year. Leadoff man on for the Diamondbacks, and welcome back.
Boy, Aaron really got his legs involved. Look how he kind of dips down at the point of contact to get to that breaking ball. Keeps it fair down into the left field corner for a leadoff double.
Corey Dickerson's had a busy night down there in left field. Here's Goldie. RBI single his last time up, 1 for 2. Center field, Tyler Colvin backing up, spins around, it's over his head. Here comes Aaron Hill. He'll score. Paul Goldschmidt into second. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. 20 doubles and 20 homers on the year for Paul Goldschmidt. And they are as good as gold. Boy, he got himself all turned around out there, Bob.
That was a hard hit ball, maybe one of the hardest hit balls we've seen all season, on a line to straightaway center. I mean, Tyler Colvin standing out there probably about 385 feet from home plate when Goldie hits this ball, and he gets turned around a couple times. That ball just sails over his head.
Back-to-back doubles for the Diamondbacks to start the 6th. Here's Miguel Montero. 20 doubles now for Goldie and 71 RBIs. He leads the National League. Instant updates, that's what we give you. Looks like some stirring in the Colorado bullpen. Jorge De La Rosa does not go particularly deep into games. He's been over 100 pitches only 3 times all year. His high for the year is 110. That was in a Rockies 2-1 win at Houston, when De La Rosa went 7 back on May 28th. Adam Ottavino is up. May 28th also the last time he's been over 100 pitches for Walt Weiss. Pitch number 90 on the way.
And this has been the area where De La Rosa, I mentioned, he's been really good his last 3 starts, especially with runners in scoring position. 1 for 14 in his last 3 starts so far in the ball game tonight. The D-backs are 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
They have out-hit the Rockies 7-1. Top of the order has been especially effective. A.J. Pollock 2 for 3, triple and a double. Aaron Hill 1 for 3, double and scored a run. Paul Goldschmidt 2 for 3, single, double, 2 RBIs. Miguel Montero 281 on the 10-game road trip, 3 doubles, a home run. We should get these guys a couple of Navy signalmen so they could get the signs right. Just put one guy behind De La Rosa waving those big orange flags.
Flags, yeah.
How about this catch by the fan on the previous foul ball by Miguel Montero? BB, you'd be the judge here. A little bobble. Oh no, bad high five. Yeah, no, that's a deal breaker for me.
You got to finish the play.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Swing and a miss.
Good try though. Thanks for there supporting the Diamondbacks. Worst case is you get the baseball, so it's all good. Miggy strikes out. That's 5 strikeouts for De La Rosa. 1 away in the 6th. This is an awkward moment. I mean, this is. Do we fist pound? Do we open hand it? How does this work? Whoops! It's just a whiff.
You sprain your thumb badly that way. You got to be careful.
Wearing the Sedona red. Do you think he's getting texts? Here comes Walt Weiss, and that might be it for De La Rosa at 94 pitches, 63 for strikes. A little tip of the calf from Walt Weiss.
Yeah, this is the walk designed to allow your relief pitcher to throw a few more warm-up pitches. I've never seen Walt Weiss move so slow in his life.
De La Rosa 3 runs on 7 hits. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's responsible for 1, and that ends his night right here with 1 out in the 6th. Pitching change. We take a break. Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Klondike. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Back home at Chase Field. Diamondbacks and Rockies. New pitcher for the Rockies is Adam Ottavino. So Bob, Don Baylor, hitting coach at the top step with the game plan for this guy.
Not hard to figure out against Ottavino. It throws a fastball and a slider about an equal percentage of the time. He's not a guy that's going to use his fastball to excess to set up the breaking pitch. You're just as likely to see the slider as you are the fastball.
Paul Goldschmidt on second. 1 out. A run in the 6th. They almost threw it into center field. And you saw Cody Ross and Martin Prado, the hitter at the plate and the hitter on deck, going over that game plan with Don Baylor. They know what to expect here in these at-bats. Adam Ottavino, he'll be in there for a while. He leads the majors with relief appearances of 2 innings or more, 16 of them. So he's a long man. 9 of his last 10 outings have been 2 innings. So he's sort of their Josh Colmenter light. Josh Colmenter scoffs at only 2 innings.
2 innings?
Give me 6.
Just getting loose.
Yeah. And they've seen Paul Goldschmidt's base running, and they're keeping a close eye on Goldie because he can be sneaky on the bases. He's got 8 stolen bases. He's been caught only 1 time.
It looks like he wants to run out there at second base, too. Had a walking lead that time. Had thoughts about breaking for third base, but held his ground.
Goldie on second after an RBI double. Back-to-back doubles to open this inning. Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt. Montero struck out. That ended De La Rosa's night, and now it's Ottavino versus Ross. Cody slugged .470 on the D-backs 10-game road trip. Double, couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. Just dropped that one in there on him. It's 1-2. WILIN Rosario out there. That one sailed on Ottavino. Evens the count.
Ottavino's slider is not one of those downers. It's mostly a sweeper, very flat across the strike zone. He'll start it right at the right-handed hitter, try to hit the inside corner. He'll start it over the out of the third of the plate and sweep it out of the zone, trying to get swings and misses.
A little frisbee slider sometimes?
A little bit like a frisbee, yeah. It doesn't have as much downward movement as a lot of right-handed sliders.
Cody lifts that one high in the air to right. B.J. LeMahieu, the second baseman, in foul ground, and Goldie stays put. 2 down. Martin Prado. Prado 0 for 2, grounded to short in the second, hit into a double play in the fourth, and all those military servicemen and women going to go home tonight with Martin Prado bats. And a lot of pine tar all over their hands. If you're going to bid on these Diamondbacks jerseys at dbacks.com/19, you get the Prado one, you'll have that trademark pine tar on the back of the shoulder.
Yeah, you can see as he pumps that bat over his right shoulder, every time that pine tar hits the back of his jersey, it lifts it up again.
And if that is not the ultimate mark of authenticity, then nothing is. And Martin was terrific, gave all those service personnel one of his bats. See if you can see it.
Kind of hard to see on the black jersey.
Yeah.
It really shows up on the white one. But watch how he pulls his jersey up when he taps that bat on his shoulder. He'll get it there in just a second. Take a few practice swings.
Makes contact with that jersey every time. Out in front there, 1-1. We had some Eric Chavez bats mixed in as well. Eric getting on board. There's a Chavez bat. Prado hard to left. Corey Dickerson at the wall, spinning around, falls over, and he somehow hangs on. An adventure in the outfield in this inning for Colorado. A run in, Diamondbacks lead one. They lead it 3-0 through 6. In the booth with us is Grand Canyon University baseball coach Andy Stankiewicz. Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Great to be here.
Is this the big TV debut today?
It is. It is. I was a little bit nervous.
No,
but,
this is nothing.
I'm doing okay, I think.
If we can do this, you can handle it.
Well, you guys are good. You're the pros. I'd rather be down the field with a fungo in my hand than be with you guys.
I tell you, a guy that does look comfortable out there, Tyler Skaggs. Boy, how about him? He's looked sensational so far, huh?
Oh, he's been fantastic. I think it's just what probably Kirk Gibson and his staff probably were looking for is a big day out of him, kind of give that bullpen a little bit of a rest, and boy, he sure has delivered.
Has 6 scoreless so far, only 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. At one point, he retired 12 in a row. Now, how do you think his stuff plays at this level? Because it's a sort of a unique mix.
Yeah, it is. It's he's spotting his fastball really well tonight. You saw a fastball right there, up and in a little bit. You got the so he looked like he's just kind of moving it in and out, and looks like he's throwing that changeup a little bit more. You hear about a big breaking ball, and his changeup seems to be working pretty well tonight. He's got all 3 working, and wow, it's fun to watch when you see a guy that can paint and do what he's doing out there tonight.
Corey Dickerson leads it off here for the Rockies after his adventure on that last fly ball by Martin Prado. Got himself all turned around with the warning track.
Thought Prado had one right there. Got that ball high in the air.
Now, Andy, your program's going through some big things. What can you tell folks about it?
Well, we are. We're going to Division I next year in the WAC conference, so everyone seems to be pretty excited about it. Obviously, big challenge moving up from Division II to Division I, but nonetheless pretty exciting. I think the administration there at Grand Canyon loves athletics and totally supports all the coaches there on staff, and got the big basketball arena now with Dan Marley coming over and being the head coach, and so boy, it's an exciting time. I think that we're going to move pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's nice. It's becoming a big time deal. Basketball, baseball, the WAC.
Got a great year this year. What do you got coming back for next season? Returning Letterman?
Yeah, Bob, I wish. We lost some pretty good players, as you can imagine, but we got some young players that we feel can step in and play a big role, and got some good recruits coming in as well. And so success sometimes helps you, right? And so going Division I, having a nice year last year, going to the College World Series, certainly has helped us in the recruiting, and people are starting to take notice.
Now, Andy, for you, what does that involve, the move to D1 specifically?
Well, I think you got a couple more recruits we can get. Ooh.
Dyer beats it out. Yeah. Goldie had to come so far off the bag, and
you get two more extra scholarships on board now. That always helps. Division I, the roster has to change a little bit as well. You can't have as many players as we could at Division II level.
You have fewer players?
Yeah, you're only allowed 35 players on your roster in Division I. Where Division II, you can have 86. You can have as many as you want.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it just makes it a little bit tougher. I think when we recruit now, you got to be on a little bit better, and you got to make sure that you're recruiting the right guys.
That was a tough break for Tyler Skaggs. Just the Rockies' second hit. They rule that a hit. So 1 out, and Dyer on first. Here's WILIN Rosario.
Now Goldie crossed the line that time. Paul Goldschmidt's such a great defender on that right side of the field, and I've joked before about Robbie Thompson and Will Clark playing the right side for the Giants, and Robbie used to have to draw a line over there. Yep. You got to cross this line. It's my ball.
There you go. There you go. Goldschmidt sure is good over there, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
See a big offensive guy that takes pride in his defense, man. That's a coach's dream.
All you have to do is tell him he can't do something. He'll prove you wrong.
Well, Andy, are you finding fans that support the program excited about the move?
Yeah, we sure are. I think, like you said, just around the valley, you're hearing a lot more talk about the university and the athletic teams. And so, we go out and we recruit locally. Most of our guys are Arizona boys, and you go out to a showcase event, and a lot of parents and the coaches or high school coaches are getting excited about Grand Canyon and going to Division I. It's just another place where one of their players can go play. Before it was all ASU and U of A, and I think hopefully we're going to be a nice option.
Well, there's so much baseball talent around here. It's amazing how this area is a baseball headquarters for the whole country.
It is. I'll tell you what, I'd put the JC programs up here. I'd put them up there against any JC programs in any state in the country. The coaches in the JC level are great. They work at it. They recruit hard. They develop players. So we're pretty fortunate that great high schools, but then the JCs here are very good.
Are you finding that the fact that you played professional baseball helps in recruiting? I have to believe that's a huge factor.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, it does. It does. I think the guys will step into the office and they'll see, a team picture with the Yankees or the Diamondbacks, and and they're intrigued by that. And most of the guys who recruit, they want to play in the big league someday. And I'm not sure that I'm the reason, but I think the guys like the idea that their coach has been there and done that. And so I think it has helped.
Do you have any time to watch the D-backs? I know you got a lot involved there.
Well, not as much as I'd like. I tell you what, when I heard I was doing this little guest analyst stuff, I was like, man, I better bear down a little bit on the Diamondbacks. They better.
Hard to DIDI at short, and they get to force. The short way ends the inning. All right, Andy, thanks. You're on the post-game show, right?
That's it. Yep.
All right, it's a full day for you.
Whoa, that's a full day. Yeah, right. Yeah, out of the chute, full day.
All right, well, thanks for joining us in the booth. We sure appreciate it.
Steve, thank you.
Good to see you again.
Bobby, it's great seeing you again. Thanks.
Before we get to the home half of the seventh here at Chase Field, we pause.
As the Arizona Bagpipe and Drum play America the Beautiful.
Diamondbacks looking good so far, leading the Rockies 3-0 behind the 2-out shutout pitching of Tyler Skaggs. Wow, 7 scoreless from Tyler, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He has been terrific. And now against Adam Ottavino, it will be Gerardo Parra, Didi Gregorius, and the pitcher spot in the Arizona 7. 3-0 Diamondbacks. They've out-hit the Rockies 7-2. Parra has grounded out and struck out. This is his first look at Adam Ottavino. I always, every time this guy's out there, it reminds me of a Little League game with that number.
Number 0.
But when your name begins and ends with an O, there's a nice symmetry to it.
Yeah, seems appropriate. If anybody's going to wear 0, it ought to be Adam Ottavino. Hey, how about this, partner? Matt Cain, in his previous 5 starts, 34 2/3 innings, gave up only 7 earned runs. Tonight against the Dodgers, Matt Cain in 2 1/3, 8 earned runs. He's been chased out of the game in the top half of the 4th inning. Dodgers lead the Giants 8-1.
Here's my issue with that, because I don't know who to root for. You got 5. Here's the problem. You got 5 teams in this division separated by 4.5 games. And if one of them beats the other, I'm not sure what to do with it.
You root for extra innings.
That's right. Except when we're playing.
Except when we're playing. Yeah.
Please, no more.
Uncle.
0-2. That segues nicely, BB, into our AT&T Twitter poll question. Biggest competition for the NL West title. I think the Dodgers are probably the best bet because of Puig mania. Their pitching is getting a little better. Hanley's back, and I think everyone else in that division is kind of are what they are at this point.
If you'd asked that question a month ago, you might have picked the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks ago, you might have picked the Padres. But right now, the Dodgers are the hottest team in the West.
They're making a run. The question is, can they sustain it? Now 3.5 back. I think the Padres have sort of turned the corner there. He's got swept in Boston. And, you know, Jason Marquis and Eric Stoltz had really, really great first halves, but I don't think either one of those guys was going to win, 18, 20 games. Foul tip. Rosario hangs on. That's a strikeout to open the 7th. Now, June 24th, you can see how things have changed underneath the Diamondbacks' lead.
And everything changes. We slowly sneaking up on that trade deadline, non-waiver trade deadline anyway. And once again, a month ago, you probably could have picked who the buyers were going to be and who the sellers were going to be. Not so clear-cut anymore.
Didi Gregorius, a hard single up the middle in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. And the Diamondbacks, with so much young talent, going to be well represented at the Futures game. Chris Owings is tearing it up at Reno, hitting over 350. So I'm sure Kevin Towers is getting a lot of calls about some of the Diamondback youngsters.
Matt Davidson, Archie Bradley will also represent the Diamondbacks in that Futures game.
I mean, that's terrific. Futures game's a big deal for these guys. I was there last year. It's quite an event. Didi Gregorius up the middle. He's 2 for 3. Single in the 3rd, single in the 7th for Didi.
You see Didi using the middle of the field.
His first hit was a rocket up the middle.
Right back up the middle. When he first got here, nobody really knew much about Didi. Didn't have a lot of a book on him, how to pitch to him, and he was pulling a lot of balls hard into right center, right field, and down the line in right. And as often happens in this game, they figure that out. They pitch you accordingly, and Didi appears to be making an adjustment, using the big part of the field. 2 knocks right up the middle tonight.
Well, he played in the Red system last year at AAA Louisville. His manager there was David Bell. He's the brother of Diamondbacks farm director Mike Bell. And, David Bell told him, you have to watch him to put your finger on it when you watch Didi Gregorius. The best way to describe it is, and this is Bell's words, he plays the game at a different speed. He has the ability to really slow the game down for a young guy. That's hard to teach. And in terms of the offense, David Bell said one of the things you look for is the bat speed to hit a fastball. He's got that. And everything else after that should follow. Nice bunt by Tyler Skaggs. Ottavino has one play. Gregorius advances. Second sacrifice bunt in this ball game for Tyler Skaggs. He's done a good job in those situations. And here's the man who's had the big night offensively for the D-backs, A.J. Pollock.
Let's see what Tyler Skaggs has done tonight. Obviously, his most important role with the team is what he does out there on the mound, how he throws the ball, how he works his way through an opposing lineup. But when you can get down a bunt, when you can put a ball in play as a hitter, when you can hold base runners when they do get on first base, that's going to allow a manager to leave you in the ball game for that one extra inning, or let you take the at bat and put down a sac bunt and stay in the ball game for one more inning.
And how big is that given tonight and the circumstances under which the Diamondbacks are playing this game, with the bullpen completely exhausted? A.J. Pollock tripled and scored in the first, doubled and scored in the third. Hit one off the top of the wall on the Diamondback bullpen. Just missed a home run. The double in the third was A.J.'s 22nd of the year. He's ahead 2-0. There's that slider you talked about, Bob. 3-0 now.
Diamondbacks, half the hits tonight have gone for extra bases. 4 of the 8 base hits have gone for extras, and the Rockies have yet to have a runner reach second base.
They've had 2 singles and a walk against Tyler Skaggs, who has 5 strikeouts. At one point, he set down 12 in a row. 3-1. Tell you what, after this tonight, you can be sure Kevin Towers' phone's going to ring. And ringing right now, in fact. Certainly in no rush to get rid of a good young arm like Tyler Skaggs, but at the deadline, he's the kind of kid you get a lot of calls about. There's a walk, and A.J. Pollock on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, young players under control with a huge upside, and that certainly fits the description of Tyler Skaggs.
Tyler Skaggs, big lefty, 6'5". He's only 21 years old. He'll turn 22 July 13th. Charles Brewer up here to give him some innings. And Brewer's looked good this year when he's been up here with us. A curveball his last time out was dropping off the table. 2 on, 2 outs. Aaron Hill doubled and scored his last time up. And you consider when he faced the Rangers May 27th, Tyler Skaggs, 6 scoreless, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts. Bookend his work at this big league level this year with what he's done here tonight. He's going to be a very attractive guy for other teams to call and ask about. And the price is going up. And we're certainly not trying to put Tyler Skaggs on the trading block, but he's just the kind of guy that draws a lot of attention from other teams. We'd like to see just keep him right here. Big swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, you see that padding on the back of the left batting glove of Aaron Hill. Missed all that time with the broken bone in the back of his left hand.
63 games. And it's up to Aaron whether he wants to have surgery after the season. He says it feels fine now, but what happened with the fracture in the left hand, it was a non-union fracture, which occurs when the broken bone does not heal. A slow healing bone is known as a delayed union. When the bone does not heal, it's a non-union, and that's what Aaron had. That's why he was out for so long. Remember, it was only supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks at the most. They were supposed to check out Willie's hand when we got back today. No word on that yet.
Yeah, Willie started to show some signs of progress in New York, taking extra batting practice in the cage, and then suddenly had a setback and went completely the wrong direction. Ended up putting him on the disabled list.
2-2 to Aaron Hill. He's worked it full. And the National League's RBI leader is on deck. 3-2, 2 outs. First and second, Diamondbacks lead at 3-0 in the home half of the seventh. A packed house here at Chase Field on their feet. Runners will be off with a pitch. DIDI Gregorius at second, A.J. Pollock at first. Good speed on the bases, and there they go. Lifted to center field. Tyler Colvin coming in, and that one drops into no man's land. DIDI scores. Here comes A.J., and the throw is not in time. 5-0 Diamondbacks. Welcome back.
That slider right off the end of the bat out there in no man's land. Colvin took a step or two back before charging in, and then his throw to the plate really tailed to the first base side. A.J. Pollock off with the pitch, able to score all the way from first base on that little floater into center field.
They rule it a single and 2 RBIs for Aaron Hill. He goes to second on the throw, and A.J. on a little bloop over the second base bag scored all the way from first. Goldie gave it a ride, but the Diamondbacks add 2 more. 5-0 through 7.
You know, play in front of our fans a little bit, and you know, it's a little more comfortable at home. You always are, and so it's going to be nice.
Our Geico quote of the game, all about home sweet home. No team in Major League Baseball has played fewer games at home than the D-backs. To sell out here tonight on a Friday night as the D-backs begin a homestand that has them here 10 straight games, 17 of their next 20 here at Chase Field. But guys, in the locker room, everyone to a man said, yes, it's great to be home, but don't expect they're going to kick back and not be competitive. They know they have to make up some ground and still play very, very well here at home. But finally, the schedule changes in their favor.
Nolan Arenado leads off the 8th with a single, just the 3rd hit for the Rockies against Tyler Skaggs. And You saw that great crowd here. Here's the schedule, Diamondback fans. And this is all in one shot here and then into the All-Star break. So lots of chances this week to see your first place Diamondbacks. And how big, Bob, is that 3-game series against the Dodgers going to be? They're right there now, neck and neck with the Diamondbacks. Puig will be here. 3 big home games coming up next week.
Well, it was going to be big regardless, but with the Dodgers making the run that they have here in the second half of the first half, 3 huge games leading up to that All-Star break.
Tyler Colvin now. You saw the great shots of the sellout crowd here at Chase Field. 45,505. That's a record for Military Appreciation Day. And it's doubly good, Bob, because the 50-50 raffle for tonight, with the proceeds going to the 100 Club of Arizona for the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department through the Diamondbacks. Total jackpot is a 50-50 record. It's almost 90,000, and it's still going up. They're going to keep it going here and extend it to see if we can get it into the 6 figures. It's coming up on 90,000 for the 50-50 raffle. So if you're here at Chase Field listening somehow, you know someone that's at the bowl game, send them a text, do what you can. Just do a 50-50 raffle. If you've never done that before, it's still going up there. This is a Diamondback record. They're selling tickets right there, and this is great. Look at the D-backs fans getting involved. The proceeds from the 50-50 going to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. The Diamondbacks are matching all donations from you, the fans, up to $200,000. So the D-backs have doubled their commitment this week. And don't forget, you can also go online, and there it is, Bob.
Oh, nice.
90,000 on the 50-50 and still going. And the Diamondbacks auctioning off the jerseys they're wearing in this game tonight at dbacks.com. All the proceeds there go to help the families. And the line to get to the 50. Look at this. This is, Bob, this is Diamondback Nation stepping up big time, because the folks here know what's going on. They know where the money is going, and they're getting involved.
Absolutely.
That is terrific. 3-1 to Tyler Colvin. 100 pitches now for Tyler Skaggs. Up the middle, Didi steps on the bag, and they roll the double play. It's a special night to be here at Chase Field tonight. Tyler Skaggs is pitching a beauty. But he's at 100 pitches now, and the bullpen is getting going.
Boy, for you astute Diamondbacks fans out there, you may say to yourself, well, 45,000 plus, a ballpark holds more than that. Yeah, the capacity is just over 46,500, or rather 48,500. But because it is a fireworks night, the D-backs think of everything. Those fans sitting out in the outfield bleachers, when the fireworks show goes on, they can't see them. So they leave enough seats in the bowl of the stadium so that those fans can come back, find a seat, and be able to see the fireworks out beyond the center field wall when the roof is open.
We guarantee if you come out here for a fireworks night, other than a sudden windstorm or something like that, you're going to see the fireworks. We're going to make sure you have a good seat. Second base. Tyler Skaggs has pitched 8 shutout innings of 3-hit baseball. He's got 5 strikeouts, and he has been absolutely what the Diamondbacks needed. He has been terrific. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Miguel Montero, it's Mickey time. Last 9 games, he's been swinging a hot bat. He's coming up. Energy All-Star is a no-brainer. How about Tyler Skaggs with this exhausted pitching staff delivering 8 scoreless?
Nothing could have been better tonight than Tyler Skaggs coming out here and dealing the way he did. I mean, on multiple fronts. Tired bullpen. The rotation hasn't been able to get deep in the ball game with any kind of regularity. Big crowd here at the ballpark tonight. You mentioned scouts from all over the major leagues in the stands tonight. Just an outstanding performance under the circumstance by Tyler Skaggs.
Now do you let him? He's 3 outs away from a big league shutout here.
I say, yeah, go for it. I mean, he's already reached a career high in innings pitched. His previous high was his major league debut, August 22nd of 2012 against the Marlins, went 6 2/3.
And remember, this is a kid that just on Saturday in Sacramento pitching for AAA Reno, 8 1/3 scoreless, a career high 13 strikeouts in a 1-0 win. He retired the first 10 he faced, finished with a career high 13 Ks. And now he's got it going here at the big league level. Adam Ottavino gave the Rockies 2, and now it's Wilton Lopez here to open the Diamondbacks portion of the 8th inning. 0-2 to Miguel Montero. Saw David Hernandez was throwing earlier for the Diamondbacks. J.J. Putz is loosening up now. Montero, Ross Prado, 4, 5, and 6 in the Arizona 8th. Tyler Skaggs has been an absolute command all night long. Corey Dickerson a single in the first. After that, Tyler retired the next 12 he faced before a 2-out walk to Arenado in the 5th. He got Colvin, the next hitter, to pop up. That ended that threat, if you want to use that word. Kadire singled with 1 out in the 7th. Arenado singled to lead off the 8th, and that's been it. Miguel Montero off the hand of Lopez, and he's aboard. Yeah, they'll go see if he's okay.
Yeah, he's playing it off like it's no big deal, but Walt Weiss and his training staff are going to make their way out to the mound to check on Wilton Lopez.
Oh, right off the pitching hand. Man. I mean, that seems like the thing that might feel a lot worse in 5 or 10 minutes than it does now. We'll let him give a couple of warm-up tosses. And he ruled out a single for Miguel Montero, and that's the 10th hit for the Diamondbacks. They've out-hit the Rockies 10-3.
I'll be even more descriptive. That's an infield hit. Don't cheat Miggy now. We got to give him every infield hit we can.
He used the wheels. RamTrucks.com, tools of the trade. Miguel Montero has looked terrific, showing off. You mentioned beating out an infield hit. Well, first of all, he threw out a runner trying to steal base, Dickerson. And then look at this. There's the speed.
He's had a nice night behind the plate, especially calling pitches for Tyler Skaggs. You mentioned only 1 base on balls to Nolan Arenado in that 5th inning with 2 outs. They had the left-handed hitting Tyler Colvin in the on-deck circle.
Cody Ross high in the air to left field. Dickerson's there. Lots of room. What a run.
And I really think Miggy sensed that, you know, the guy at the plate right now is a lot more dangerous than the guy in the on-deck circle. They threw him a 2-2 changeup. They threw him a fastball off the plate away for ball 4. And Skaggs was a little upset with it, but I think after the game, if he really sits down and analyzes this game batter by batter, that was the right thing to do. You got a left-handed hitter in Tyler Colvin who struggles, especially against left-handed pitching. You don't want to give Nolan Arenado anything to jumpstart this Rockies offense, so they pitched around him.
Yeah.
Ended up being a base on balls with 2 outs. He promptly came back to get Colvin.
And the way Colvin's been slumping, that was absolutely the right call. Martin Prado 0 for 3.
All about that inning management. You know, a lot of times the young pitcher gets so caught up in it, especially when they're pitching well. They want to strike out everybody. They want to attack everybody. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Let's go after the next guy. I'm pretty sure we can get him out. This guy at the plate scares me a little bit, and sometimes the catcher has to think for the pitcher.
Gets away from Rosario. Montero to second. Boy, I mean, if you watch Rockies every night, I mean, you must just be sick to death of watching that. I mean, this kid is a great young hitter. I mean, a great young hitter. He's one of the, just a tremendous offensive player at a very young age. He's going to become a very good hitter, but that's just a whiff, and it happens on a nearly daily basis.
You could fry bacon in that catcher's mitt. He clanks so many pitches back there behind home plate. I mean, forget the ones that get by like this one. That just hits off the thumb of his glove and goes all the way to the backstop. How many borderline pitches have the Rockies pitchers lost because he boxes them out of the strike zone?
Or not thrown the pitch they want to throw with a guy on third, afraid that it's going to go through him. 2-1 to Martin Prado. Montero on second, one away. Roll to third. Arenado looks Miggy back to the bag. 2 down. Tell you what, suddenly, Bob, this Arizona rotation's looking pretty good lately.
Wow. The innings, that's what you look for, the innings. Get deep in the ball game. Give your team a chance to win that game. Give the bullpen a little bit of a blow.
I've become a huge Randall Delgado fan. Watching the way the composure he had in that start up against Matt Harvey at Citi Field. Never rattled, always poised, in the moment. Every time somebody got on base, it never became a threat or a big inning. A couple of home runs. One was a good pitch, one was not so good. That's fisted the other way to left. Dickerson's there. And that ends the inning. Diamondbacks strand one. We're through 8. It's 5-0 at Chase Field. Fans, if you haven't yet, please join us at dbacks.com/19 and support the Diamondbacks effort as we honor our fallen firefighters and support their families. And a tremendous and stirring moment here at Chase Field before the game, honoring the 19. The 50-50 raffle proceeds going to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. Well over a record and approaching $100,000, and a sellout crowd all chipping in, more than 45,000 at Chase Field. And again, the Diamondbacks' efforts to Help the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross continue here all weekend long. Military Appreciation Weekend. And the money is immediate financial assistance to the families. And the Diamondbacks Foundation is matching all donations, now up to $200,000. And everyone donating $19 or more, Bob, gets a home white D-backs jersey signed by the entire team, honoring the 19 fallen from the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department. There's the 50-50 raffle, and fans are still chipping in, knowing where the money is going, and that's the best part. J.J. Putz opens the ninth. Jonathan Herrera hits for the pitcher.
Well, we ask you to step up to the plate, and you've done a great job. You've had a perfect night. Keep it up.
Yeah, fans, there's the 50-50 raffle, getting close to $100,000. The proceeds from that and the proceeds from an online auction at dbacks.com. The jerseys the Diamondbacks are wearing in this game will be available for auction. All the money goes to benefit the families of the firefighters. Putz strikes out Herrera to open the ninth. dbacks.com/19. That's the numerals 19. As our entire community takes a moment here to honor those 19 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department who lost their lives on Yarnell Hill. Top of the order, this is DJ LeMahieu. And Bob, a brilliant, and a brilliant is not a reach considering how tired this pitching staff is. A brilliant effort from Tyler Skaggs tonight. And now a chance to get A.J. Pollock some of those innings that Kurt Gibson was talking about in non-save situations, finding him work in other spots and other roles to build that arm strength back up.
And you see the velocity spiking a little bit. He was consistently at 89, 90 in his first couple games back off the disabled list. Just trying to rebuild that arm strength. It's such a long process, 6 weeks or more of spring training to get your arm to the place it has to be. Then you suffer an injury and have to back up and start over again.
Martin Prado, 2 down. Tyler Skaggs pitched a beauty. He's set down at 1 point, 12 in a row. 3 hits, all singles, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. And after what Tyler did in his last start for Reno, 13 strikeouts, and then 8 scoreless here for the Diamondbacks, he's got to be feeling a whole lot better than he did in spring training when he just couldn't seem to find it and get on track. And boy, he has just been superb lately. Randa Delgado gave this rotation a big boost on the road at Citi Field, and now finally back home after an exhausting 10-game road trip. Tyler Skaggs has 45,505 on their feet at Chase Field. Oh, and 2. Good to be home, Bob Brenly.
No place like it. There's no place like home. Yeah, I was just thinking you want to end the ball game here, make it a nice clean 5-0 shutout, but I'd like to see that 50-50 raffle creep up over there $100 grand.
1 and 2.
Well, there you go. Call timeout. Have Charlie Nagy run out to the mound, talk to him for a minute.
This place is packed, and it has been a special night. And a proud night for the Diamondbacks organization and its fans. And what a night for that young man. 21 years old. Got a birthday coming up in just a few days. 13 strikeouts at Sacramento his last time pitching for Reno. And now 8 scoreless for the Diamondbacks tonight. Aaron Hill. Bob Brenly, this rotation is starting to find itself.
And with it, the bullpen gets a night off. Well, I'll tell you what, this was an emotional night here at Chase Field for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, the biggest reason is to honor our fallen heroes, but what a huge performance by Tyler Skaggs. The offense jumped up and did just enough. The defense was their usual excellence. What a night.
So proud to be part of a first-class organization, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and its foundation doing everything it can for the fallen 19 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots and the Prescott Fire Department. An energized and galvanized fan base here has come out in full force. 45,505. Tyler Skaggs pitches an absolute beauty, and the Diamondbacks win the first of this three-game series. 5-0. Let's go on to Todd Walsh. Todd, this is fun. Let's keep it going.
You got it, Steve. Thank you. Steve Bethune. Bob Brenly will join you in just a little bit with Andy Stankiewicz, our special guest analyst here tonight. And Andy, the pregame show and that seventh inning hit in the booth, that was all gravy. That was all window dressing. Now we got to get to the meat of it. You have to analyze. First of all, you ready for that?
I think so, yeah. It's a lot easier, I can tell you, doing it from my couch back at home. So
okay.
Put a little pressure on me.
On the pregame show, we actually talked about a couple things you were looking for from Tyler Skaggs. As we set us up for the postgame show, did you see what you wanted to see from him?
Absolutely, yeah. He did a great job. Masterful performance tonight out of a young man, only 21 years old. Man, that young man's got a bright future.
All right, we will break that down. We will hear from Tyler Skaggs in just a little bit. And look at this, the Arizona Diamondbacks on Military Appreciation Weekend. There they are, greeting members of the military here in their fatigues at Chase Field. As Bob Brenly mentioned, all kinds of emotion for all kinds of reasons here tonight. And stick around. There'll be more of it, I am sure. 5-0 your final. Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, is around the corner, I should say, as our exclusive coverage of Diamondbacks baseball continues on Fox Sports Arizona.